This is a video about my co-creation with my brother and my light family for January 3rd and January 4th, 2022. On the morning of January 3rd, I got up and as I put my feet on the ground, I cited my morning mantra. What magic and what miracles will I receive and see and experience today? And what magic and what miracles will I give today? And with that, my day began, and I went outside and I fed the squirrels and I fed the birds, and I thought, it's a little bit colder than normal. Let me look at my phone. And the time was 6:37 a.m. and the temperature was 37 degrees. And I took a screenshot. Numbers have their own vibration, and I have found in my own experience, when I do a screenshot and I save it on my phone, those numbers are amplified in my experience. I came in, drew myself a cup of coffee, and sat down in my living room in order to communicate with my light family. And I asked if anyone wanted to come forward in order to share a message. And it was my brother Leland that came forward, and he asked me to use my spirit cards. Now, this is really unusual because my light family, which my brother is now a part of, since he transitioned back into the light on June 30th, 2021, they have never asked me to use this particular deck in order to convey a message. This deck is self-published by the artist, and so I was intrigued to find out what my brother's message was. And when he drew the card Dance, all I could do was laugh. For this card has the words spontaneous, spontaneity, movement, and fun. And I would say in life, my brother was not a spontaneous person. He was not one to dance or move about, for he had chronic back issues. And while he had a wicked sense of humor, he rarely did anything fun for himself. My brother had things that he enjoyed in life, but I would say he was not one to let loose or have fun or be free of a schedule and a daily routine. So when I looked at this card, I said to Leland, well, I guess what you're telling us is that don't do what you did. Do as you are telling us to do. And understanding that being spontaneous and moving your body and having fun in life is so important for our physical and mental well-being. I also looked at the numbers on the number on the card, which, well, are you surprised? It's number 37. In numerology, if you break down 37, 3 plus 7 is 10, and you break that down to a single digit of 1. And if you look at the date, January 3rd, 2022, you also get the number breaking it down to 10, which breaks down to 1. So I thought, okay, we're getting a repeating number of 1. And what my brother was saying is that we are the one that has thrown spontaneity out of our life. We tend to live in our routines and stress and worry and spend too much time on our electronic devices. And by doing so, we miss out on the fun that we can have when we do things that are on the spur of the moment, or if we dance and turn on the music and we dance with abandon and feel the joy in that experience. And so my brother was saying we are the only one who can decide to do something differently in our lives in order to enrich it and to help boost our immune system. And he said, ask yourself, how can I create more movement in my body and create some fun and impromptu moments in my life? After the reading, I got in my car and I had a list to do errands. And on my way to the first errand, I saw a flock of lilac-crowned parrots fly over my car and land on a tree across the street from where I was driving. Well, I took my brother's advice and I did an impromptu safe U-turn. Don't judge me. A safe U-turn, and I parked my car and I got out and I first started to videotape the flock of parrots. I felt such joy in that moment. And after I had videotaped the parrots, I began to photograph them. And I have to say, as a bird photographer, it was a moment of sheer bliss. After I got done with that, I went about my chores, and on the last chore, which was going to the recycle center, I decided that I was going to start turning in my glass water bottles. Now, I have a recycle pickup from my city, which I pay for every month. But because the California redemption value for glass bottles is now 10 cents, I thought, well, let me just see what happens if I go to a nearby recycling center and turn in 10 bottles. Let me have that experience. Because I'm really looking to expand different things in my life and to see how things feel that are outside of the routine. So I go to this recycling center and I give the representative my 10 bottles, and I fully expected to get $1 back. And instead, he gave me a receipt and $1.10. And then I looked at the address on the receipt and realized that the cycling center was located at 1100 North San Fernando Boulevard. And I thought, isn't that interesting? Here we go, the repeating number 1. Later that day, as I was taking my evening walk, the sun began to set, and I saw the beautiful colors deepen in the sky. And I stopped and I took a picture, and I silently expressed my gratitude at being alive in that moment and seeing the beauty in the world. And I also expressed my gratitude for photographing the lilac-crowned parrots, for speaking with my brother, for receiving the repeating numbers, and to just be alive. Now, I did take it one step further, and I said to my Light family, well, you know what? It was so interesting because I was out and about doing so many errands, but I never received a coin. That was so unusual. So I said to my Light family, let's do something different. I've never received a coin while I've been walking around my neighborhood. Do you think you could leave me a coin? And sure enough, on my way home, I decided to take the alleyway, which is located at the very end of my block. And as I turned into the alleyway, I found 1 penny. When I picked it up, it was 2020 on the date. Now, if you watched my last video, I talked about the repeating numbers of 2 and how I had received a coin on Christmas Eve that had the date of 2002. So this penny was 2020. So here again, repeating numbers. I went home, and before I retired for the day, I said to my brother, I'd really like for you to share your light body with me. Now that we have spoken and you have given me messages about dance and movement and spontaneity and fun, which I certainly had experienced during the day, I would love for you to come forward so that I can photograph your light. And this is what happened. Okay, Lee, it's 9:37 p.m. The oracle card that you drew today from the Spirit Cards deck is card number 37. The card said dance, spontaneity, movement, fun. I thought I would check in before I call it a day to see if you wanted to come forward. Wow. You morphed into a heart. I saw it clearly. As always, I send you my love and blessings. Thank you for the card. Thank you for the message. Thank you for coming forward. And that's a wrap. Short and sweet. Good night. The next morning was January 4th, 2022, and I woke up still smiling from the experience that I had had the night before. To watch my brother's light body morph into the shape of a heart was deeply moving. I miss my brother greatly. I miss my brother's physical presence, and I miss our conversations. But my brother and I are still connected, and our relationship continues, but just in a different way. Now we communicate through repeating numbers, through signs and synchronicities, through oracle cards, through my dowsing rods, through intuition, through coins on the ground and feathers found in my backyard. It's different, but the love is still there, and the love is very powerful. And my brother is showing that to me every day. So on this day, as I got up out of bed, I said my daily mantra. I went out and I fed the squirrels, and I fed the birds, and I got my cup of coffee, and I sat down with my light family, and I asked who wanted to provide me with a message for that day. And my brother came forward again, but this time he told me to use my spirit animal oracle cards. And as I was shuffling the cards, he plucked a card out of the deck and dropped it on the ground. And the card that he gifted to me was Parrot Spirit, watch your words. And I was giddy. I knew exactly what my brother was telling me. Parrots are often known to mimic the words that they hear most often. So if a parrot is a companion animal in a home, they are most likely to repeat back to their owners the words that they hear most often in that environment. For me, what are the words that I am parroting over and over again in my own home? Every morning I get up and I parrot out the vibrational words about magic and miracles, and the universe is hearing me. And the universe is reflecting back to me the vibration of those words through experiences. So, what words are you parroting out into the universe? And what experiences are you having parroted back to you? I hope that this video helps you, and I thank you so much for watching.